All right. So, sorry about that. Y'all had me in here talking to myself. So I had to have somebody help me out a little bit. Cause I be in here old man and forgetting things. But it should be volume now. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh shoot. Thank you. Liberty. My volume was crazy, period. So this time it wasn't even a TikTok thing, but we're gonna use the bowl. We're gonna do our breathing exercise. We're gonna do some throat chakra affirmation, and then we are going to read, continue to read. Um, before I let go. So honestly, if you ever get you a drum or something like this, don't feel like you. It's like being a kid. You don't have to feel like you need to know how to play the drum to enjoy it because I don't know how to play it. I've definitely practiced trying to learn a couple of songs, but yeah. But all this is you just trust your spirit and you do what feels natural to you. I like that thing holds on for a second. See what I mean? Just go with your spirit. No right or wrong. And you'll be amazed what sort of man, I thought that thing was about to fall over. Music that's already in your heart. So you do something for yourself that you love tremendously. Now a little bit of the bowl. It is actually set to the frequency of your throat. a second. Um, Now we're gonna do our throat affirmation. So we will take a little time to affirm and align ourselves. I think I want to do do, 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 242 again. I think that was pretty good last night. I mean, whenever we did it, I think it was pretty good. So I want to do 242 again. If you don't remember, we are going to. Excuse me. I've been so gassy lately. We are going to breathe in our nose, hold it for 2 seconds, and then breathe out our mouth. We're going to repeat that for four, and then one more time for three. For two. 242. On my count of three, you can honestly, it would probably be good to, so you can recognize the healing power that resides within you. Put your hands on your throat in a place or a way that feels safe and authentic to you. And while you do this visualization, keep your hands here. And the element for throat is ether. And the easiest way for me to help you visualize ether is through music. And it's a couple of places or a couple of things that I could do that would allow me to feel the ether vibrating around me. And it was either a go go club or a reggae club. All other clubs wind up being a little different. And I don't know if you've ever been to a reggae club or a Jamaican spot where you've had the opportunity to see how they move. But I'm going to visualize that. And honestly, I'm gonna visualize a place that I've been so many times that no longer exists. But it was the spot called Crystals. So, with your hands on your throat, imagine yourself in, we're going to Jamaica. You can hear the sound of the music. You can hear the people laughing. You can smell the salt water in the air. Oh, man. And that is the setting. So, on my count of three, I want you to breathe in through your nose. We're going to hold it for two and breathe out through our mouth. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Breathe out. You can start to smell the spices of the food in the air. You can see the people walking along. On my count of three, we're going to breathe in through our nose, hold it for 4 seconds, and breathe out through our mouth. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, hold it for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. You imagine yourself walking down the street and you see buildings lining the street with every step, vibrant with life, restaurants, clothing stores, all types of retail and grocery. On my count of three, we're going to do one more deep breath in through our nose, out through our mouths. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Breathe out through your mouth. And as you're walking down the street, you see this one place that is playing music, and you see people dancing and laughing. And you walk up to the front door of this place. There's a guy standing there to greet you as you enter. You walk through the entryway, and to your left, you see a bar. Several people standing at the bar, ordering drinks, having conversations. You can smell the food that mixes with the different perfumes and colognes and clothing and pheromones, all blending into one smell within the ether. And you walk closer, you walk further in to a space. There's an open floor surrounded by speakers. And you look across that floor and you hear the music playing. And you walk a little closer to the speakers on the left side of the floor. And as you stand there, as close to the speaker as you can get, that your ears still allow, you begin to feel the sound vibrate against your skin. Imagine feeling the sound vibrate against the hairs of your arm, and you feel it vibrating across your body to your ears, across your face, to the other side. Now it's on your right shoulder. You feel the vibrations in your legs, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And while you're enjoying the music play, the smell of the food, the conversations of the people, you begin to think about how happy you are in this moment. You begin to describe your feelings of release, relief, empowerment, waves, a sense of peace. And in your mind's eye, I want you to visualize yourself in a state of each word that you describe, a state of bliss, a state of relief, a state of peace, a state of joy. All the things that you felt in that situation, in that moment, as the music vibrates against you. Those words are the core of who you are. And with your hand still on your throat, I want you to repeat after me. I speak and hear the truth. I communicate honestly. I live an authentic life. I am fearless and free. I trust what I have to say. I speak and hear the truth. I communicate honestly. I live an authentic life. I am fearless and free. I trust what I have to say. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. All right, family. Let's get this party started. Um, we close to almost finished with this book. So I'm hoping we can get even closer because I promise you I am ready for The Alchemist. And everybody's ready for The Alchemist. I ain't even finna lie. Everybody's ready for The Alchemist. But Before I Let Go has been a very good book, so no judgment. Now, I told you before, I definitely think it's a little vulgar. Oh no. Schedule install. Nope, that's cool. Got a software update for my tablet. Oh man, we're not talking about rate later. Before I let go, we are on 316 of page 367. So, chapter 40. And we're after, okay, so Deja, their daughter, pretty much caught them being fresh. So, dad went to talk to her, and she finally expressed her true feelings, in which that she blamed her mama for the divorce and all that stuff that's going on with the family. And she thought she was talking to her dad, but mom walked up right behind the conversation, so she caught her saying it's all her fault. So that's where we're at. Chapter 40, Yasmin. It's all her fault. Every demon I've been trying to exorcise screams at me in the voice of my daughter. I'm horrified that she overheard me in one of my weakest moments on one of my worst days. What's really the use of forgiving myself if the people I love most never will? But looking at my daughter, her face contorted by rage and hurt, I recognize her anger, laid out like a rug covering her pain. I used to do that too. And I know a fight won't fix that hurt. I want peace for her, even more than I want it for myself. I know that's right. I've definitely masked my hurt with anger before. Deja, I say, willing my voice not to tremble. I'm sorry you overheard that. We didn't intend for you to. No, you wanted everyone to think it was daddy. She spits back. When he still loved you, he wanted to keep our family together, but it was you, Mom. It didn't matter who initiated. Josiah's words come soft but firm. We weren't working, so we were getting a divorce. That's all you needed to know. You were protecting her, she says. He frowns. No, yes, he was, I say, looking at him and letting all the love I still haven't voiced again flood my eyes. He didn't want you to blame me. I didn't want you to I didn't want them to blame you, Josiah agrees. But at the time, I blamed you too. Dr. Musa's helped me see, excuse me, that what I did was really no different. You couldn't move and I couldn't stop moving. But neither of us was handling our grief in a healthy way. What went wrong, it was my fault too. Bullshit, Deja snaps. Watch it. Father and daughter stare at one another in a tight silence, following her harsh curse. I'm not a baby. She folds her arm across her chest. You want me to pretend I am, pretend I don't curse, pretend I don't know what really happened between you two? What happened, I say, is that Bird died and Henry died, and I fell down and could not figure how to recover. Every decision from that season of my life was made through the lens of depression. If I could go back, I would, but I don't know what I would change because that's who I was. That's how I coped. I released a huff of humorless air masquerading as a laugh, or didn't cope. We were fighting all the time, your dad and me. I could barely get out of bed most days. Everything hurt so much, and I couldn't make it stop. You and your brother kept me going, but it was hard. I remember. Deja's voice peters out before resurging. I remember tears on your face when you picked us up in the carpool line and hearing you cry through your in your room through the walls sometimes. It's quiet in the kitchen, but the demons whisper that I failed my children by letting them see me that way. The poison vines of condemnation wind around my heart and squeeze, showing no mercy, even when I cannot breathe. I remember you and Daddy shouting. Deja goes up, eyes fixed on the floor. Sometimes you go into the garage to try to hide it from us. Kasim said he would come to your room when you heard us fighting, Josiah says. Yeah, Deja says. We knew something was wrong, but I didn't think you'd actually split up. She glances up at me. Then I heard you arguing that night, and I knew you would because she wanted to. I swallow hot emotion and clear my throat. You're right. My actions did set the divorce in motion. I can't change what happened or how I responded, so I'm asking you to forgive me for my mistakes. So you think divorcing daddy was a mistake? She demands. I've never felt more exposed than in that harsh light streaming through the kitchen right now. Then in my bare feet under my daughter's watchful stare, then in my held breath between her questions and answers that will tell Josiah the painful truth secreted in my heart. Day, Josiah says, she doesn't. Yes, I interrupt, forcing myself to meet her eyes and not look into his, which I feel trained on my profile. I think it was a mistake. I walk deeper into the kitchen and stand right in front of her, not touching her, but looking her squarely in the eyes, praying she sees the sincerity and regret. People don't become perfect when they become parents, I tell her. If anything, parenthood gives us more chances to screw things up, just with our just with higher stakes. We all mess up. Sometimes we have to live with that for the rest of our lives. I can't promise I won't mess up, but I promise I will love you even when you do, unconditionally. That means even if you can't find it in your heart to forgive me, even if you hate me. I don't hate you, she cuts off and softly, eyes on the floor. It means I'll always love you no matter what. And we can go on like this, not getting along, you resenting me not understanding you. I tip up her chin with my finger, waiting for her tear drenched eyes to meet mine. Or we can decide today that we want something else. We can decide we've already lost too much to waste another day. I lost Bird. I lost Henry. Tears roll down my cheeks and my voice breaks. I don't want to lose you today. She may reject me, but I'm willing to risk that. I'll keep risking it till I win her trust back, to earn a second chance, knowing she could very well roll her eyes and walk away. I extend my arms, they tremble. For a perilous second, I think she'll reject me for the spite of it, to hurt me the way my actions hurt her. But she doesn't walk away. She moves towards me, her face crumpling and tears streaking her cheeks. She walks into my arms, burying her face into my neck, the wall she's erected between us for so long collapsing like a cracked dam, the emotion, the tears crashing through. I cry too, but it's as much a relief as anything else that after so much time of cutting remarks and frozen silences, I have something real with my daughter, even if it's her tears. Chapter 41. Yasmin. No school. Kasim runs through the house delivering the news. Mom, there's no school. I walk over to my bedroom window and watch the steady drift of snow to the ground. Otis here with us while Josiah and Charlotte yawn from the foot of my bed. It only takes an inch for Georgia to cancel school, I say, or even the threat of an inch. Won't hear me complaining, Deja says, entering my room, still in her pajamas, and coming to stand beside me at the window. There have been awkward moments since she caught Josiah and me on Sunday. I imagine you never forget the image of your parents having sex. Not that she actually saw the act, but close enough. A few minutes earlier, and she would have seen her mom riding her dad like a roller coaster. Even mom's Clorox couldn't have scrubbed that from her brain. But in between awkward moments, there's been an ease, a loosening. I don't expect her to forget overnight what she heard when Josiah and I argued or the anger she's felt about it. But it seems like she's trying. Like she heard me, believed me, when I said I wanted things to be right between us and am willing to work on it. What do you want to do today? I ask her. Eat, watch TV. There's a marathon on. What kind of marathon? A different word, a different world. I heard about it but never seen it. How have you never seen it? It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I hesitate. glancing at her from side. You want to watch it together? Deja turns, looks at me, her expression somewhat guarded, but not unpleasant. Sure, but can you make breakfast first? Breakfast? Yes, Kasim says from the door, peering at us through the slits of Captain America's helmet. Can we do sweet potato pie pancakes like Dad made? Deja and I share a quick look. We told Deja we would explain our arrangement to Kasim when Josiah returns from Charlotte. I'm not looking forward to it. I can't guarantee that they'll taste like your dad's, I tell Kasim, but I'll try. They don't taste like Josiah's, but they aren't awful. A few notches above merely edible. Kasim eats four, so I'm counting it as a win. After breakfast, with the snow still falling outside, Deja and I crawl into my bed and turn on the television. The marathon is already underway, so we come on season 3 and lose ourselves for hours on the campus of Hillman College. Is this how it was for you and Dad? She asked, dipping her hand into the bowl of popcorn we brought upstairs. Is this what it's like to go to an HBCU? I mean, this is fictionalized, of course, but yeah, it's definitely inspired by real traditions and experience like the ones I had at A&T, boo, and your dad had at Morehouse. She cradles a handful of popcorn, watching the students gather at the pit to eat Mr. Gaines' greasy food and digest his sage words. I want that, she finally says. My heart springs into action. For college, you mean? I don't know. I'm still not sure college is for me, but I could have it now, right? What do you mean now? I don't want to go to Harrington High School. My stomach sinks, and I pause the episode, turning to give Deja my full attention. It's one of the best schools in the state, Day. It's the twilight zone. I want to be around more people who look like me. She gestures to the flat screen mounted on the wall. Isn't that one of the things you loved about attending your HBCU? Well, of course. There's nothing like it, but you, wow, it hits me. The irony of my success being so shaped by my experiences at a HBCU and me thinking my daughter should only thrive at a place like Harrington. You're serious? I probe. You really don't want to go to Harrington? I really don't. Where you want to go? The high school for our district that's in walking distance. Lupe and I talked about it. She's going to ask her mom too. She doesn't want to go to a private school next year either. Well, I do, Kasim says from the door, holding a jar of peanut butter and a spoon. I love Harrington. You would, Deja rolls her eyes. They think you're the second coming. What can I say, Kasim preens? I keep it hot in these streets. Pretty sure being on the robotics team doesn't constitute keeping anything hot in nobody's streets, Deja says. The three of us laugh, and Kasim brings his peanut butter to the bed. I scoot over so he can take one side and Deja the other. We pick back up with the marathon, but I barely follow the storyline. Contentment covers me. Tucked beneath this duvet, inside this bed, is my whole world. These are the people who matter most. Only one is missing. I'll be back, Deja whispers, glancing covertly at Kasim, who has fallen asleep after 2 episodes. My cousin's in town. I need to hit the bathroom and make that change. Okay, I'll pause it until you. Her cousin is in town. When was my period? Shouldn't it be last week? I calculate in my head, shocked that my cycle is more than a week late, and I hadn't even noticed. A few months ago, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. But a few months ago, I wasn't having sex with my ex husband like it's Freaknik circa 1998. In a daze, I stumble from the bed to my closet, pulling jeans and a heavy sweatshirt over my pajamas. I'm slip my arms into what? I'm slipping my arms into a full length puffer coat when Deja pokes her head in. Where are you going? She asked, eyeing the hunter rain boots I'm stuffing my feet into. I'm going to the drugstore. I need to get something. Now? The roads are icy. You're going to drive? No. I grabbed the beanie, the scarf from my drawers. It's just a block or two. I'll walk and be right back. Okay, she says, skepticism clear in her voice. If you're sure, I am. I kiss her forehead on instinct, brace for her to jerk away. She doesn't, though, just leans into it. Even that small victory is invigorating. I know we have a long way to go, but maybe we'll be okay. I appreciate the freezing air biting through my layers of insulation and the flurry of snow dusting my cheeks. It makes me feel when my insides have gone numb, head spinning at the possibilities. I'm more than a week late. I got my shot, so I shouldn't have to worry about birth control. Nothing's foolproof though. What if I really am, by some unlikely accident, some twist of fate, pregnant? My doctor clearly laid out the risk. Women who have placental abruptions are less likely to have successful pregnancy later. When the baby didn't survive, the likelihood of another abruption also increased. It was a point of contention between Josiah and me. He wanted to get a vasectomy, but I didn't want him to. He wanted me to consider getting my tubes tied, but I could never take that step. What if I can't finish the thought? But push open the door of Skyland's drugstore, greeting the young woman at the register with a half-hearted smile. I speed walk past the body wash and the supplements and adult diapers until I reach the section I need. My heartbeat stutters and the roll of pregnancy tests blur in front of me. It's not until I taste salt that I realize I'm crying. I tug the beanie lower and glance around the store self consciously. Because of the weather, there's almost no one here. But I've been that woman who loses her shit in public places. Public grief is a tricky to negotiate. At a certain point, and it varies depending on the person and the circumstance, there comes a time when you should be over it. You should have moved on by now. And you're so aware of the fact that you have not, that you cannot. You don't want others to see your past due tears or sense the pain that has outstayed its welcome. You protect them from the feeling awkward because you're still in pain. When the facade fails and you lose it, the stares soaked in sympathy are as bad as the ones filled with contempt. I know the aftertaste of such meltdowns. Well, have experienced firsthand the violent vulnerability a broken mind and desecrated spirit can use against you. There's a civil war raging inside me right now. I'm a city of unfortified walls, and it feels like my any moment everything could be laid to waste. If I'm pregnant, the list of implications is a mile long. Implications for my health, both physical and mental. After my ravaging battle with depression, can I even trust my body with those hormones? Could I carry another baby without constantly revisiting the one I lost, especially given the likelihood that it could happen again? I believe I could, but I also always assumed I was Teflon, only to find out I was paper mache. My happiness, my wellness feels like a tenuous ecosystem made up of therapy, coping mechanisms, and a precise dosage of meds. If something disrupted, what could happen? Only is that the truth? Paper mache is easily crushed, yet here I am, still whole after a series of debilitating losses. And tenuous? I've laid a foundation for my mental health, habits and practices that keep me well. If I feel unwell, I know what to do. When I can't solve it on my own, I have people in my life who won't let me stay down. Dr. Abrams, Soledad, Hendricks, Josiah. I haul in a panic breath. Josiah has been very clear that he doesn't want another baby, doesn't want me taking the risk of carrying another child. Hell, this isn't even what he wanted at all. Obviously, we're evolved from no strings attached, easy exit arrangement we started with, but who's to say who would want this? He's too good a man to turn his back on me, but want it? Want something else that ties me to him even longer, even deeper? Would Josiah move back in with us if I was pregnant? The warmth of that thought penetrates the residual cold from my walk in snow. A fierce desire thaws the icy fear in my heart. I want him home. How could I ever have thought he belonged anywhere else? A young girl, maybe 16 or 17, walks up beside me. Without a word, she grabs one of the tests and resumes her perusal of vitamins further down the aisle. Barely older than Deja, and she grabbed it and went on her way like it was nothing. When I picked up the box, it seemed to solidify two things I refuse to shy away from. One, if I'm pregnant, I'll deal with the risk and the hormones and the doctor's orders. I have the tools and I know how to use them. Two, I want my husband back and I want him to come home. I miss him. A specific longing for touch and connection that no matter how many girls' nights or parties I attended, surrounded by people, only he dispels. No time like the present, I mutter to myself, rushing to the front to buy the test and then walking back out into the winter cold. Chapter 42, Josiah. I'm home. Not sure if I ever really stopped thinking about the house on First Court as home. But after days of not seeing my kids, not holding Yasmin, there, here, so it feels like home. I didn't even bother going to my place first, but I drove here straight from the airport. Over the last few weeks of clandestine hookups, I've gotten into the habit of not knocking, but walking in. With the kids home, I hesitate. We said we'd tell Kasim when I got back from Charlotte, but what are we telling him exactly? Mommy and daddy still like to fuck, so that's as far as it goes. Got it? Good. Is that even true? Is that as far as it goes? I hit it well, but when Yasmin told Deja about our divorce mistake, it tore something up, tore something in me. It tore something inside of me, right down the middle. Something still hanging in raggedy shreds. The implications of her admitting that, tectonic, shaking and shifting the very ground under our feet. We didn't discuss what she said. I didn't spend the night. Even though Deja now knows now, it would have felt weird being in Yasmin's bedroom with our daughter under the same roof. Our whole situation feels like it occurred in a time warp, trapped between cycles. There are moments when we feel like the people we used to be, that passion, that connection from before, and at times this feels completely foreign, like we're strangers discovering each other for the first time. It makes sense though. I'm one person who made of two strands, the things of my past that continue to shape me and the person I'm slowly becoming. My finger still hovers between the bell when the door flies open. Deja stands there draped in sash and a BTS onesie. Her smirk is disturbing, knowing. like she had something on me. She caught me in post-coital with her mom, so I suppose she does. What happened to Daddy Daddy? I asked dryly. Aren't you usually squealing and hurling yourself into my arms when I get home from a trip? Her brows lift and her smirk deepens. Seemed to me your arms were full last I checked. Smart ass. How is she only 14? Just how bad will this become the older she gets? Without a word, I stepped past her into the house. How was Charlotte? She asked, closing the door and leaning against it. Good. A lot of work to get the operation up and running, but we'll make it happen. I hesitate, shooting her a searching look. Vasi's moving there to be head chef. She wanted that. Yeah, she asked, and Cassie's more than prepared to take over here. We're looking for a sous chef to take her place. I'll miss her. We all will. She's been great. I keep my tone neutral, my gaze wandering up the staircase. So where's everybody? She folds her lip into a sly smile. You mean where's mom? Kasim's not here. I ask, ignoring her question. Basketball practice. Jamal's mom is bringing him home. Where's Otis? In the kitchen asleep. She rolls her eyes. Lazy dog's been sleeping ever since he got home. And your mother? I don't ask the question, but the little minx knows what knows I want to, grinning and canting, her head in expectation. Anyone else you want to know about? She asked innocently. Brat. I hook my elbow around her neck and pull her in for a noogie. I'm too old for this, she squeals, but leans into me instead of pulling away. She's upstairs cleaning out her closet or something. Okay. I look down at her, sobering some. And how's it been with you two since I was scarred for life seeing you in bed with my mother? Wicked delight dances in her dark eyes. You didn't see nothing. Don't even try it, I grimaced. For real though, how's it been? She shrugs, leaning deeper into me. It's been okay. We hung out yesterday when it snowed and we talked. It was cool. It would take time for it would take time to repair what broke between them. Hell, it'll take time to repair what broke between us all. I kiss the top of her head and release her. I'm gonna go catch your mom up on Charlotte Church. Oh, is that what you call it, Daddy? She air quotes and quips. Catching her up? I huff out an exasperated laugh. You too grown for your own good. I know, she says, proud. I climb the stairs, forcing myself to go slowly with my daughter's eyes burning a hole in the back of my neck. As soon as I hit the landing, Yasmin's voice reaches me, and off key, singing Hendrix, Tony's anthem. Feels good. I walk into the bedroom, but the acapella singing is coming from the closet. I lean against the door jamb for a few seconds, watching her back turn to me as she pulls items from the hangers and tosses them into a pile on the floor. She's wearing black yoga pants and Minnie Mouse sweatshirt she got for the first time we took the kids to Disney World, and earbuds, which explains the concert for one she's got going on, accompanied by rolling hips and random crip walk. I creep up on her, grabbing her from behind by the waist. Oh my God, she yelps, arms flying, eyes wide open. When she faces me, her face softens, and she pulls the earbuds out and places them on the closet shelf. Hi. Reaching up, she cradles my face and kisses me hard, deeply. Though it's only been days, this feels like a reunion. It's not just this kiss. Lately, I always feel parched, thirsty like I've been without her for ages because I have. And it feels fragile having her again. It is fragile. Every kiss, every touch, every moment placed in a bell jar, preserved, protected, only by a thin sheet of glass. Our conversations backstage confirm that we are exclusive, but we still have easy exits. As soon as one of us feels it should end, it can. My arms tighten around her. What the hell was I thinking when I proposed that? You're home, she says, smiling against my lips. I'm glad. So am I. I flop onto the oversized ottoman, bringing her down with me onto my lap. She snuggles into me, muttering against my neck. I missed you. Missed you too. I shift her higher on my lap so she feels how much. Oh. She pulls back, peering in my face and laughing. Don't think we have time to take care of that, kind sir, especially with your daughter downstairs. Don't remind me. I groan into the textured curls fanning out around her face. She's not going to let us live it down anytime soon, walking in on us. Small price to pay, she says. You're not making this any easier. I give her a little shake. Change the subject, or it's happening, and Deja will straight up blackmail us if she hears. Reach into my coat pocket. She grins, wiggles on my lap, reaches into my pocket coat I haven't bothered taking off yet, and pulls out a cheesecloth bag tied with gold thread. When she peers inside, a smile breaks out on her face. You brought me a pair? Judging by the way she beams, it may as well be a diamond bracelet. Is it from Mary and Ken's pear tree? It is. I plant a kiss behind her ear. I remember you saying they were the best you've ever had, so I thank you. She leaned down and takes my bottom lip between hers, holding my stare. I swallow hard and grip her hips, groaning when she grinds down on me. I want her so much, but Deja downstairs is a serious cock block. How were they? She asked. Good. Said you have to come with me next month when I go back. I paused. Vashti would probably want to go soon to see the space and start getting a feel for everything. To her credit, Yasmin doesn't even stiffen in my arms, but simply nods. Makes sense. She should. So what happened here while I was gone? She does stiffen this time, looking up at me for several seconds like she's weighing her words. She traps one corner of her bottom lip between her teeth and draws a sharp breath. Hey, what's up? I frown. What happened? I kinda had a weird experience, I guess. She lowers her lashes and clasps her hands together. I shift her off my lap and onto the ottoman beside me so I can read her expressions better. Lifting her chin, I scan her face. What happened? I realized my period was over a week late. She says it so softly, but it hits me with the sonic force of a rocket launch. You're what? I'm dazed, confused, scared. My heart pumps blood to roar in my ears, and starting pistol sets my pulse to racing. I wanted a vasectomy as soon as the doctor told us the risk. Yasmin begged me not to get one, and her grief was deep. I didn't press. Now I wish I had. What the? But you're on birth control? Yeah, I'm not pregnant. I just thought being so late, I had to make sure. My cycle actually started last night. Air whooshes from my chest in a rush. Relief slumping my shoulders. Damn, babe, you had me about to lose it. She smiles faintly, licking her lips, training her gaze on the hands in her lap. I know it's for the best that I'm not, but those few moments from the time I peed on that stick to when the negative sign popped up, I was. She looks at me, uncertainty written on her face, in her eyes, hopeful. I wanted this sigh so bad. I'm quiet, not sure how to respond to this. not sure how to respond. This, her giving more, her having more kids was an impasse we never found a compromise for. It made me realize, she goes on, her tone careful, measured. I mean, I knew this, have always known, but it reminded me how much more I want kids. Tension creeps across the lines of my shoulders, tightening the muscles in my back, balling my hands into fists on my knees. With you. Her gaze is steady. Sure now, I want more kids with you. Her words land on me like bricks, and I have to force myself to stand under the weight of them. I walk to the rear of the closet, rubbing my mouth, facing shelves of shoes and purses instead of facing her. I know what the doctor says, she continues. I'm not saying I have to carry children, adopt, foster. You weren't open to that before. I wanted a replacement for Henry, hoping it would help take some of the pain. I thought I needed that. And anything you said to the contrary felt like you just didn't understand. But I'm open now. She touches my shoulder, and I turn to face her. This isn't really about us making more kids, she says. It's about us making a life together again. This isn't what we agreed upon. I remind her quietly. We said this isn't a reconciliation. I don't know what the hell we're doing anymore. She breathes out a laugh, her eyes searching my face. She bites her lips the way that always precedes something she's hesitant to say out loud. But we don't but we don't have to remarry for you to come home. Home? The word startles humorless laugh out of me. I grip the back of my neck with one hand, angling an incredulous look at her. Home? I asked, acid creeping into my tone. This home? The one you threw me out of? She flinches like the words are a slap in her face, and I guess in some ways they are, but I won't take them back. I deserve that, she says, her voice flattened, but still puckered with hurt. It's not about you deserving anything, Yaz. I drop my head back, staring at the closet ceiling. I don't want to make you feel bad, but it's true. I left this house because you told me to. We divorced because you wanted that. I didn't, but I've come to terms with it. Now that we're sleeping together, you want to wave a magic wand that wipes all of that out because your uterus is twitching? That's not it. Nah, I shoved my hands into my pockets. Doesn't work like that. You sent me away. It's not as simple as me just coming home. Even as I say it, I can't deny that I came straight here from the airport because I couldn't wait to see her and the kids. How? That word home beating me though. Beat me though like a pulse from the whole ride here. How, if I'm honest, this is where I want to be more than anywhere else. It always has been. A year ago, I would have sold my soul to hear her say those things. So what's holding me back? It can be that simple because, it can be that simple. With a flurry of quick blinks, she swallows deeply, the muscles of her throat moving. I think on some level, I knew it was a mistake as soon as you left. On some level, even though we were fighting all the time, I still wanted you here. Yeah, right. She strides over to a row of drawers in the far wall of the closet and opens the bottom one, pulling out a pair of shoes. She throws them to the ground like a gauntlet. Are those my? I squint, my brain catching up to the evidence in my eyes. The UNCs I searched months for. You found them? They were never lost. I kept them. So you lied to me when I asked you about them? Surely lying to you about a pair of sneakers is low on the list of things I did. Why lie about it? Why keep them in the first place? I don't even know, she shrugs. It was instinct. I just did it. I think I needed to keep the part of you here with me. A part of me? A scoffing laugh boomed from my chest. Keep a part of me here? All of me was here, Yaz. My kids, the house we built, our life together, my wife, everything. I know that's right. Wow. I point through the walls in the directions of Bird's house. The man who lived 2 streets over, that was a shell, everything that mattered was still here. You exiled me. So don't talk about keeping parts of me. You had it all. You took custody of our whole life and you toss a pair of shoes at me like it's proof you still want me? Do you think I need you to tell me again how badly I fucked up? I'm well aware with them. I meet her eyes, remorse shifting into anger and frustration. And I don't blame you for everything that went wrong. I told you that. It was unhealthy the way I dealt with the shit that happened. And to make matters worse, when you asked me to go to therapy, I refused. We stared at each other, the hard learned truth of my words lingering in the air. But what I didn't do, I say, setting my jaw, was give up on us. You didn't try to save us. I did try, she says, emotion clogging her voice. I tried and I tried, but I couldn't save us and save myself. What does that even mean? I was losing battle side. Tears trickled down her cheeks. The fight for us and fight for me, I didn't even want to live. She clamps her hands around her mouth like the words barged out of her without permission. Her eyes smudges of agony in her face. She alluded to this in Charlotte, but where we at? But seeing her now, her misery, I realized I didn't know how bad it was. All right. The way we were with each other, she says, looking tired and sitting on the ottoman. The coldness, the fights, the pain. I was already fighting myself just to be here, to stay here. I didn't have the energy to do both. Losing our marriage hurt in a way I can't even describe to you. But losing the other battle for myself, that would have been fatal. The word fatal hangs in the air like a noose. A sharp pain serrates me, leaving uneven cuts and bleeding memories of just how bad things were at the end. If I listen closely enough, I can still hear echoes of the clashes we had in this very room, in this closet, angry words trapped between those walls, miserable, enraged, helpless. I was all of those things, and so was she. And yet, here we are again, arguing in this house. Didn't I learn my lesson? I can't stop thinking about her. I want to be with her all the time. The stupid grin I swore when we were dating and I knew I would see her is back, damn it. I haven't tried to stop those feelings because I knew it could only go so far. But now she's asking for more. Everything we've been through, when it comes down to it, I'm still the idiot who wants to give Yasmin the world. But to trust her again, enough to come home, to hand her that, Much of me again, I'm not sure I can give her that. She thinks she barely survived the first time. I'm not sure I did. Am I intact or just pieced together version of myself fooling everyone? I know I said I couldn't find the love. She continues, fresh tears sliding from the corners of her eyes. But I promise it's still here. It wasn't your love I couldn't find under all that rubble. It was me I had to find. I had to dig myself out. You don't love me anymore? Her answer that night shattered me in a way nothing else ever has. And as emotionally obtuse as I am at sometimes, even I recognize I never recovered from that conversation. I know it's a lot, she says, voice trembling, but I've learned to be honest with myself. I love what we have, Sai. You know that. And I thought I could live not knowing where this would lead or if it would ever lead anywhere. But I don't want that. What are you saying? I want it to lead to you back to me, back here. I want to earn your trust again. I want to talk openly and do it better this time. Do it right. She stands and crosses the space between us, stopping just short of touching, but a warmth and scent tempt me. I'm not saying we have to get married. She licks her lips and stares down at the tennis shoes on the floor between us. But I want us to build our lives together again, and not because it's what's best for the kids or because it makes sense for our business. She presses her hand to my chest, spreading her fingers over my breastbone, her eyes filled and brimming over with so much love. My throat catches fire. I want you back. My heart stops when she says it, and I step away from her touch as if I've been burned. I'm torn between walking out that door and fucking her again against that wall, locking the door so she can't ever get away, making her say it over and over and over again. I want you back. I want you back. I want you back. My emotions are rioting, confusion and frustration, hope, fear. I don't need Moose's feelings wheel to know I'm scared, shitless, and angry as hell, but I'm not sure I fully understand why. Not the surface reasons, but the insidious ones that hide behind my traumas and settle into the cracks of my past. I stare at I stare at her and bark out a laugh. So you had a pregnancy scared with a side of epiphany, and I'm supposed to believe that changed everything? That night when you asked if I that night when I asked you if you loved me, when it mattered so damn much, you weren't sure. Here's what I can't do. She counts them on her fingers. I can't go back to that night and change what I said, what I felt. I can't undo the time we were apart. I can't unbreak your heart. Tears roll down her cheeks into the corners of her mouth. I can't unbreak mine either. Because whether you believe it or not, as soon as you walked out that door, there was a part of me right there, right here. She bangs the fist over her heart that wanted you back, and I've been fighting it ever since. And it had nothing to do with seeing me with that, and it had nothing to do with seeing me with Vashti. I asked, dryly, probing, rediscovering that you actually did want me. Did it jar me to see you with her? Of course it did. But every time I was in the room with you, I wanted you. I never not wanted you. I think I couldn't imagine saying I wanted you back because I didn't believe you'd forgive me. She twisted her fingers together at her waist. How could you forgive me when I couldn't forgive myself? I used to tell Dr. Abrams I just wanted to feel like myself again. What did she say? She said I would never be that person again. Not exactly the woman I was before. I was fundamentally changed by what happened. It took time and therapy and the right meds before I could learn to be happy as the person who I remained after so much loss. Her eyes blazed with sincerity and passion, and everything I used to fantasize I would see there again. I'd like for you to trust that the person standing in front of you has done the work to get better and understand how I lost myself. I've developed the tools to cope when I inevitably lose more, because losing the things that you love is a guarantee in this life. She takes my hand and presses it over her heart, her lashes spiked with tears. Ask me again if I love you, Sai. Ask me now. The words wait on my tongue, but there's a gate set over my mouth, like if I let them loose, despite all my fears and reservations, I won't be able to resist her. There's a part of me that knows this is where I belong. There's another part, though, self preserving part, that remembers she gave up on us and ruined me. The woman standing in front of me is the fighter I needed then. How could I not love her? She curls her fingers into a fist over my heart. And if she asked, I would carve it out on my chest and give it to her. Maybe that's the problem when you love a woman and you want to give her everything only to lose it all. I still haven't asked the question when she closes the last few inches between us and leans up to my ear. Reflexively, my hand goes to her hip, possessive, anchoring her into me in case she decides to run. Yes, Josiah, she says in a watery whisper to the question I couldn't make myself ask. I love you. All right, that's a good place to stop. Boo, 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 boo. Okay. Yeah, we're on chapter 43. Fantastic place to stop. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed. I'm still excited, waiting for. Yeah, this one was a little more emotional. You know what I mean? I'm glad they can have genuine conversations. I'm glad they had a real space. I'm glad he said how he really feels, because it's going to be very difficult for him to move back into that house. And if he does, the emotions and conflict he would deal with internally will make it difficult for real. But great read. Sorry for being late. Um, Facebook been acting up, so if it acts up again next week, we just gonna move on without it, right? I appreciate you, family. Remember throat affirmations. I'll say them again for you before we go. I speak and hear truth. I communicate honestly. I live an authentic life. I am fearless and free. I trust what I have to say. Repeat those to yourself to help balance out your throat. And family, I'm about to get up and cut this off. So I will see y'all next on Tuesday. We'll continue. I guess maybe we got a little bit about symbols left. Um, we're going into one of the other things. So we're gonna talk about. Ooh, excuse me. Maybe I don't know if I want to do the power of suggestion or trauma. I think I want to do trauma because I think it ties best into symbolism. Um, yeah, because we wearing our traumas as symbols of our strength, but interesting. Um, yeah. So if I don't see you Tuesday, family, I'll see you Thursday. And have a great weekend. I plan on doing a couple of spiritual journeys this weekend for a couple people. So I look forward to that. I'm about to do a twofer. Have two people on their spiritual journey in here, and we're gonna see how it goes. So, all right, family. Check you later.